The Mets are of course in a much different spot than they were a year ago. Instead of coming off a 100-win season that followed up with adding 2022 Cy Young Award winner Justin Verlander to a rotation that already had Max Scherzer in it, neither of those guys are Mets anymore, and instead of the all-in approach they've taken since Steve Cohen bought the team, the Mets are taking a little bit of a step back these days. I wouldn't say they're punting the season because that's just not true, but they're definitely not all in like they were before, and what they're doing is necessary, building a little more for the future. You can only spend so much money before problems come. You can't rely on just one big name player, or a few of them. Cohen re-signed Edwin Diaz, the best closer in baseball in 2022, to a big 5-year contract, only for him to tear his knee celebrating during the WBC before the season and miss the first year of his contract. I mean, that's the kind of thing that happens. So trading both Scherzer and Verlander was likely the best route to go at last year's deadline. After those two, the most expensive pitcher on the Mets was someone they brought in before 2023, Kodai Senga from Japan, on a 5-year $75 million deal. Not crazy at all, especially compared to the Scherzer and Verlander contracts, and Senga of course was not going to be traded. He's part of the future, or at least the near future, and he's good. There's just one big issue, which is that the Mets don't have the best starting rotation depth. A lot of their talent has been free agent signings who have either since been traded, like Verlander and Scherzer, or guys who are question marks. They don't really have any starters who you can have too much trust in. Sean Manaea isn't great. He can maybe be solid, but that's no guarantee as he's coming off 2 bad seasons. Luis Severino, who switched New York teams, isn't the healthiest of players and was abysmal last year. The Mets are a team that's just kind of like, if everything goes well, we can be real good. If guys stay healthy and perform decently or even overperform a bit. The problem with the Mets right now being built like this is when something goes wrong, it really hurts. And because it's the Mets, something is inevitably going to go wrong that will make their fans punch a hole in a wall while the rest of the league laughs. That's not changing in 2024. Kodai Senga, who's supposed to be the Mets ace now, has been shut down indefinitely because of a right shoulder strain. So they're shutting him down and just waiting for the symptoms in his shoulder to calm down, and don't hold your breath. There's no exact timetable on when he'll be back, and Senga is expected to start the season on the injured list. So who's up next in line? Jose Quintana? David Peterson? Tyler McGill? Again, none of these guys are trustworthy, which look, at the end of the day, it's not like Senga being 100% healthy and going on to win the Cy Young Award this year would have changed too much anyway. His injury just makes an already weak team with low expectations weaker with lower expectations. So that's wonderful. Spring training games have barely begun, and the Mets have already lost who's supposed to be their best pitcher for only Lord knows how long. Pete Alonso continues to look like he's going to hit free agency. He's also a Scott Boras client, so you already know he's looking to get his client overpaid to the max. That's another looming shadow over this 2024 Mets team. Again, it is the Mets, so this kind of stuff is to be expected, but for a team that was already not that exciting, especially when you consider they're in the same division as the Braves and Phillies, things just got a whole lot less exciting. And another annoying part about all this is the fact that despite this Mets team being so underwhelming, they still have a top payroll in the game. Despite this Mets team being at least seemingly significantly behind the Braves and Phillies in talent, are still committed to like $330 million on the books for 2024. Every team around them in the top 8 most expensive payrolls in baseball for 2024, for the exception of the Yankees, a team that should be good this year, made the playoffs last year. The new president of baseball operations coming from Milwaukee, David Stearns, has a good track record, so the hope is he of course changes course for this team and starts building a better foundation of success rather than just relying on big contracts. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.